Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Ariel. I'm a zero-based budgeter. I also use the cash envelope system. Right now, my two main goals are paying off debt and saving up for a new bed. If any of that interests you, feel free to subscribe and let's get into the video. So today we are doing another Plan My Boyfriend's Budget with me. If you guys are new here, a little context. My boyfriend got laid off his job last year. He decided to go back to school to pursue graphic design, and in the meantime, he's working as a server. So we were trying to figure out the best way to go about an inconsistent budget and how to budget that. Basically, he saved up enough in his account to where he felt comfortable enough to say, okay, I'm ready to wait 2 weeks on holding on to tips and not spending them. So we have actually gotten him to the point where he's basically paying himself every 2 weeks. He's holding on to every single tip that he got within those 2 weeks and then paying himself. This setup allows us to know how much he has money-wise going into the following 2 weeks, and we can go ahead and prioritize his budget. It's actually allowed us to form a real budget with his pay. It feels very similar to mine. It's just the numbers are different each time. And so we're just learning how to work with that. So I really want to share things that we have learned throughout doing this. This will be his 4th time paying himself. And so we've learned a lot in basically the past 2 months, and I'm actually very excited to share that with you guys. So let's just go ahead and get into this. You guys already know this is my favorite budgeting planner that I've ran into thus far is Papers by Jessica Ann. She is absolutely wonderful. This planner is amazing, has everything you need in it, and I would highly recommend it. So we're gonna go ahead and open it and flip over to the back of April. In the back of each month, there is individual paycheck planners for each paycheck that you have. I think this is a wonderful breakdown. I absolutely love everything about this. So I can't find too many planners that have a paycheck breakdown. And so for each paycheck a month, so I actually absolutely love that she has this. Okay, so paycheck date is April 14th. That's the day that he paid himself. So his tips came out to a total of $1,202. I will say, if you guys saw my last reel where I counted his tips, I counted his tips actually his last day of work this past week was I think Tuesday, and so I counted them on like Wednesday and it came out to this 1202, but then on my actual like counting my boyfriend's tips reel, it came out to like 1215, and I was like, hey, that's not the same amount. He actually went ahead and bought something using his debit card and then put money into his tips so he could just deposit it, and so my reel says 1215, but it was actually still 1202. So I like though that he told me and he immediately shoveled over cash to go ahead and pay off his card because he used his debit card. So first is bills. So the first thing is rent. We actually have this split into 2, so he pulls it out each paycheck. I just spelled rent. It's because the beginning of the month is actually very bill heavy, and so it's not balanced out. So this was my way of going ahead and trying to balance it out more, which actually was very successful. So that is $150. Then we have phone. Phone is $80. And car insurance, which is $100. Amazon Prime, it's that $139. Him and I split it, so his portion's just $69.50. So that just came out. We have pumpkin, which is our cat's insurance, $21.68, and then we have supplements, which is about $75. And that is all of his expenses for this month. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and add this up. So 150 plus 80 plus 100 plus 69.50 plus 21.68 plus 75. It's 496.18. And then we're gonna go ahead and subtract that from the 1200, 705.82. All right, now over here, we're looking at our variable expenses. So first is groceries, which is $150. Gas, so gas, I actually wanna pause here for a second and talk about gas. I have it set to 100. So this is one of the things that I wanted to talk about that we learned. The first one was actually the whole rent thing. And if you're new to budgeting and you find that your month of bills and stuff is very, very bill heavy on one end of the month than the other, I would suggest figuring out a way to balance it out. So again, for us, it was actually splitting his rent in half. which is actually very much balanced out because we had rent, car insurance, phone, his car payment, gym, like basically like most of his bills came out between the 1st and the 15th. And it was like, this is extremely bill heavy. Like we need to figure out a way to balance this. Because his first month of doing this happened to be his magic month, which was last month, March. We actually were able to go ahead and start him on the whole splitting his rent in half. So that was really, really great. And it's really been the biggest resolve of his issue of being very bill heavy the first half of the month. So that was the first thing we learned. The second thing we've learned is to be very, very open-minded and flexible when it comes to starting out with a budget. So I already knew this kind of from my own experience, but specifically with gas, I knew how much I was putting in my car at that point. I have a little Ford Fiesta, so very economy car. I already knew that I usually had put in about $20 a week for it. So whenever I was starting to do cash budgeting again, I just went a little bit beyond that and used the leftover rollover money for my car maintenance, which I still do all that. For him, when I asked him, how much do you think you put in your car bi-weekly? His response was $50, which in my mind, it made sense because of the fact that my car, again, only takes $20 a week. So that's $40 bi-weekly. So it's like, okay, $50 bi-weekly. Like I know his car isn't like economy like mine. And so I'm like, so, you know, I know that it took a little bit extra gas mileage, I guess. I didn't realize how much extra. So we went from trying at 50 with one paycheck to trying at 60 with the next paycheck. And now we've had to bump it all the way up to 100 because turns out he actually needs $50 a week for his gas. So it's really being open-minded about what you think you might be spending versus what you actually are spending, and like knowing where you're putting your money and where the expenses are going. And then if your budget doesn't meet your needs, to go ahead and switch up your budget, fix it up a bit to actually fit your needs. Those first 4 weeks were such a struggle. So we have it fixed is $100 a week. This past time we did that and it was a huge success. So definitely sticking it at $100 back into variable expenses. Next is eating out. That is getting 60. Miscellaneous is getting 20. Fun is getting 50. Hair is getting 10. And then we have a buffer, which is getting 50. Let's add all that up together. So 150 plus 100 plus 60 plus 20 plus 50 plus 10 plus 50. So that's 440. And then we're going to subtract that from the 705.82. 265.82. So the next thing that we learned is about communicating with one another about his finances and his bills and his expenses, because I'm definitely the more financial savvy person, where it kind of confuses him because he's not as good as numbers as I am, but I'm also not as good as English as he is. And so we have our strengths and weaknesses, and it's really playing off of that. I will sit down with him and say, okay, you have this much left over. How do we want to use it? And it's really working on that communication. And for me, like, I want him to feel like his finances are his finances, not like mine, and I'm organizing them for him. And so when it comes to like what's left over, I ask him, like, how do you want to use this? How, like, what are your goals with your finances? How do you want to go ahead and take this leftover, this like extra fluff, and incorporate it into your budget? And so we've been doing that through the means of savings, because his biggest goal right now is to save as much as he can for our future, while I'm paying off debt as much as I can for our future. So that's what we've done. He did voice that he really, really wants a Christmas savings fund, because he's seen how that's worked out for me for the past couple years. And I love a Christmas sinking fund. And so I am so excited that he decided to incorporate one for himself. I think he's gonna find it to be so much more calming and relaxing than just trying to wing it. So we're gonna start slowly building up his. His will definitely not be as much as mine, but I also go ham on Christmas. Christmas is like my holiday. I'm a big fan of Christmas. So let me know in the comments down below what your favorite holiday is. We're gonna start incorporating that and building up that. I'm actually gonna do his Christmas sinking fund in the form of his savings challenge. So I don't have one set up right now because I want him to give me a number so I can create a savings challenge specifically for his number, and then we'll go from there. So I'm going to work on that. So for right now, I'm just going to put off the $50 to the side and keep it in a safe place so that when I actually create his savings challenge, he actually has something to work off of. Let's get into the different savings. So first is he does have an emergency sinking fund. So emergency savings, he put 183 to it. Christmas, he put in $55 towards that, which is a great start. The 100 envelope challenge, which he's helping me with, he allocated $50 towards that. And then that is it for savings. So let's add all that up. It's 225. And then subtract that from the 265. All right, all my numbers are actually messed up. I was missing something from my bills. My little cheat sheet did not have everything. So I'm just going to put it down here because I don't want to rewrite these numbers. 265.82 minus 225.83 equals $39.99. All right, so HBO Max is $9.99. He has a credit card for Synchrony, which is our furniture from our apartment, and that is just $30. 9.99 plus 30 equals $39.99, which means that we have a zero-based budget. So let's go ahead, add all three of these and see if it comes out to the 1202. $1202. Awesome. So we have his budget fully planned out. And so now we're going to do some cash stuffing. So let me go ahead and get all that set up. This should have $560 in here. 20, 40, 60, 81, 20, 40, 60, 82, 20, 40, 60, 83, 20, 40, 60, 84, 20, 40, 60, 80, 95, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, $560. All right, so this is his everyday binder for groceries, gas, etc. So we will go ahead and stuff this first. So this leftover in here is $75. That will go to groceries that I will be buying this weekend. And then he will get $150 back in there. $20, 40, 60, 81, 20, 30, 45, 50. And then again, like 75 will be for each week, so we have it split up like that. Gas will be getting 100. $20, 40, 60, 80, 91. Eating out gets 60. Oh, he actually still has $2 left in there. Cool. Hair has nothing in here, and that will get 10. Fun, I think, has nothing in here. Nope. And that'll get 50. And then miscellaneous has 20. Actually, I will just leave that in there, and I will take a 20 from there and roll it into our sinking fund. So there is his everyday envelopes. This is his month ahead binder that he's not using quite yet. We're just not at the point of him using it yet because he has other goals right now. But he will end up using this at some point, and then he will be fully a month ahead, which will be amazing for a server. So right now here he has, again, the first half of rent. So 20, 40, 60, 81, 20, 40, 50. So we're at another 150 in here. So this should have 300 in here. So 20, 40, 60, 81, 20, 40, 60, 82, 20, 40, 60, 80, 90, 300. So rent for May 1st is actually now fully accounted for. All right, and now for the sinking funds. This is my envelope that has all the different sinking funds, but he does add to some of them. So for instance, Sora, he will be getting 20. So Sora now has 50, 70, 90, 1, 5, 6, $106, which will be great because he's about to have his yearly checkup, along with we get him groomed because my stepfather has cat allergies. The next one is going to be deposit. Technically, this will be for the 100 envelope challenge. I did realize that I forgot to actually have him pull cash for the 100 envelope challenge and the Christmas savings, so I'll have him go ahead and do that just at another time. And so do that, and then miscellaneous is getting that leftover 20 that he had, and this is our miscellaneous fluff for in case there's any obviously miscellaneous expenses that we weren't expecting. So there we go. So that is my boyfriend's budget. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys are learning stuff along the way with us about budgeting for inconsistent pay. I hope that my little learning lessons today might help you guys with your journey in trying to figure out how to budget as a server. It's been really kind of fun, honestly, learning how to do like another wage, because mine's consistent, so sometimes it can get boring. And so, because mine really are they're just the same numbers, unless we have something random pop up, and then it's like, oh, okay, we need to allocate this for this week. But yeah, outside of that though, it's these same exact numbers every time. So it's kind of fun having this, like, I mean, kind of fun, because, you know, we're also like, we don't know how much we're gonna have for my boyfriend, but I mean, so far he's been hitting his numbers and he's doing a wonderful job. And again, I can only say such great things about my boyfriend. I am also rather biased. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye.